Dear friends, today I'm going to teach you a completely lethal gambit that will help you win a ton of games. It's a gambit you can play whenever your opponent plays e4, which is fantastic because in most games we face this move. And another great thing about this gambit is that it's played with the black pieces. I rarely bring you gambits for black, and this one is spectacular. The first time someone played it against me, I was completely stunned. I didn't even know what they were doing to me. First, let's start with the Scandinavian defense. Careful, we're not going to talk about the Scandinavian defense itself. This is a gambit that starts with the same move as the Scandinavian defense. Here, the only correct move for white is to capture this pawn because if they do anything else, we'll capture and end up with a very good position. So, what happens when they capture with the pawn? If we recapture with the queen, then we're in the Scandinavian defense. But no, we're going to play the knight to f6 variation, a spectacular line. Without a doubt, attacking this pawn is going to bring us some incredible successes. Why? Because white doesn't know how to defend against this gambit. First, what is chess the most commonly played move by white here? It's the following: knight to c3. They think they're defending this pawn, but they're really not. Why? Because we're attacking it with two pieces, the knight and the queen. Therefore, we'll continue with knight takes pawn. Here, the most common move again is knight takes knight. And now queen takes knight. What's different from the regular Scandinavian? First, we have an amazing queen because she can't be chased away. There's no knight that can drive her out. So this queen is tremendous. And best of all, she hides some tricks that are extremely hard to stop. Our opponent won't be able to stop all these tricks. I assure you, if you're playing at an intermediate level, around 2000 or below, this myth is incredible. What is the most theoretical and most commonly played move here? d4. It makes a lot of sense. A pawn in the center, very good. And it also allows both bishops to develop. It's probably the best move. So this is where our plan begins. Pay attention because it's very simple. If you pay attention to this video, you'll be able to use it very well. Knight to c6. What is knight to c6 doing? Well, the first thing is obvious, right? It threatens the d4 pawn with both the queen and the knight. We could also play this trap if instead of d4, they play knight to f3 first, which is also very common. The idea is that now, if they haven't played it before, they're going to have to play it now because we're attacking the pawn with two pieces. Here, pay close attention to this move because it's the key. Knight to b4, an extremely important and excellent move. Come on, chess teacher, if you're not threatening anything, don't try to fool me. You're not threatening absolutely anything because these 2 points are well defended. Careful, the threat is deadly. What is the threat? The threat is to play queen to f4 check, and this queen also supports the c2 square. Therefore, here we could capture with knight takes c2 check and win the rook. So here, most moves. Logical ones like a 3 trying to drive away the knight, c3, c4 or any other. Don't defend anything and we can play queen to f4. For example, the most common move here is c3, strengthening the center and threatening the knight. And here, logically, they've already fallen into the trap. By the way, I have the best news in the world and I'm going to show it to you right now. Pay attention to what I have here. My new book is now available. I'm so excited. I'm going to stand up to show it to you properly because you're going to love it. Pay attention, this is my new book, The Secrets of Real Progress, available in Spanish and also in English in both languages. I'm going to explain it to you because it's spectacular. This book has 3 phases. It has 3 parts, okay? It's like 3 books in one. The first part, here I explain the difference between players who improve and those who don't improve at chess. So many years of experience have served me well, and I'm going to put it all into this book so that you can be part of that small percentage of players who actually improve. Here are all the keys. In the second part, I teach you how to improve your tactics. Look, all of this. Tactics are what decide the vast majority of chess games, and I'm going to teach you how to recognize patterns and how to apply them correctly, so you can win many games. And the third part of the book is the most fun of all. A massive training session. Pay attention. What is this massive training about? Well, I've set up real game situations for you, moments where one side can win the game with a tactical theme, and you'll have to solve them. So I've included 100 examples for you. You'll have 100 examples to practice with. It's a super practical book, spectacular or not. And at the end, you have the solutions, of course. Let me see. Here you have the solutions. I've made this book available in physical format, meaning you can buy it and have it delivered to your home just like any regular book, okay? Or if you want something a bit more affordable, it's also available in digital format, so you can download it immediately after purchasing. and you'll have it available digitally for your computer, your tablet, your phone, wherever you want, okay? And honestly, both options are very reasonably priced. Whether you want the book delivered to your home or you want to download it digitally, I'll leave the links down below in the description so you can get it either digitally or physically, okay? And both in Spanish and in English, you're going to love it, I assure you. This book is a great key to really start making progress, as the title itself says, in chess. All right, how should we continue? Let's get to the most important part with queen to e4. You remember what we were threatening here, right? Okay, we're threatening this, and whether they block with one bishop, the other, or the queen, the threat remains the same. Let me explain. If they block with the bishop, it's very simple. Check, and I take the rook. And if they come at you with the queen, really, don't worry, it's the same. They're not threatening your queen if you give a check first. Check, they have to move the king. We exchange queens. That's important, right? We exchange queens first and then capture the rook. All right, this is what's important. For example, the most common thing is that they block with the bishop, we jump in with the knight, check, and we take the rook. And the good thing about this line isn't just that we take the rook. Well, yes, but there's something even better. On top of that, they won't even be able to get this knight back. Let me explain, because this is really interesting. Now then, if they try to capture this knight, for example, by moving the bishop to attack it, we can always retreat to the c2 square because it's defended by the queen, and there's a little trick here that I'm going to show you now. Also, if you want, you can play queen to d5, attacking this spot, capture it, and then bring out the knight this way, all right? But pay attention to this little trick. They're threatening your knight, all right? We try to move it out. Now, there's a move that seems to win back the piece. Bishop to d3, because it threatens the queen and the knight, both pieces at once. If you move the queen back, they'll take your knight. The idea is that here we have knight takes bishop with check, and when they capture, queen takes pawn. But there's a much more fun move, which is the one I always play when they try to win my knight, and that's queen takes bishop. Look at this beauty. We sacrifice the queen, right? They have to capture no matter what, because otherwise they're going to lose another piece, and then knight takes pawn with check. And I'm going to take the queen, for example, in this position. As you can see, if we count the material, we have 2 rooks and 2 pieces against 1 rook and 2 pieces. An extra piece. And now the line I'm going to show you is super, super, super important. Pay attention. There's a way for the white pieces that seems like they can save themselves. Or so it seems, right? Let's review first, because this is important. Move 4 to 5. How did we get here? Pawn takes pawn, and instead of capturing with the queen, we played knight to f6. Knight to c3, we capture, and after the exchanges here, they can play either knight to f3 or d4 first. Knight to c6, attacking this pawn with 2 pieces, knight to f3 defending, and now the key move, knight to b4. All right, first of all, you need to know one thing. For example, with c3, there is a way that seems like white can save themselves. After this check. Queen to a4 check, the correct move for white seems to be king to d2, a strange move, right? The king moves toward the center, but let's see. If we understand that the threat was knight to c2, this move is excellent. It's a very functional move, because it gets the king out of check and defends very well, both with the king and the queen, the c2 square against the knight, chess teacher. Has my attack ended here? No. First of all, good news for those of you with a bad memory. Here there's a line to force a draw if you want. You simply give check, the king can't come this way because of the knight. It has to go back either to e1 or e2. It's the same because we're going to give check. And here, if you want, you can keep repeating this over and over, and this will be a draw by the threefold repetition rule. Now then, for those of you who are like me and want to win the game, and also troll your opponent a little, you have a move available here that's spectacular. Pay attention. e6. Come on, Chesterker, you're going completely crazy. You're leaving your knight hanging. What's going on here? Well, this is going to be the mistake that ends up costing them the game. Why? Because if they take the knight, bishop takes pawn. Nothing more and nothing less than checkmate. With the bishop and the queen, we don't let the king escape anywhere, and there's no piece that can block. Therefore, this would be checkmate. Spectacular, isn't it? And now comes a very, very important part of the video, which is when they play c4 against us. What should I do? Chess teacher, if my queen is threatened. I'll show you. e4, d5, pawn takes pawn, knight to f6, knight to c3, knight takes d5, knight takes d5, queen takes d5, d4, knight to c6, knight to f3. I've switched to locomotive mode here, huh? I went fast, didn't I? The idea is that we're going to play knight to b4, right? We've seen that if they play c3, a3, or something else, we're going to play queen to e4 and win here. But what happens if they threaten the queen directly? All right, let's stop and think for a moment. Let's reason this out. Are they threatening our queen? Yes, but we already wanted to move the queen, didn't we? We wanted to play queen to e4, check. All right, whether they block with a bishop, the other bishop, or the queen, it's the same, right? Knight to c2, check, and I take the rook. But what happens? We already know that the move that seems to get away is a king to d2, and now things change a bit. It changes a bit because now we can't give perpetual check anymore since the king escapes. So what do we have to do here? It changes a bit, but don't worry, it's very simple. The idea here is that we're going to do the following. We're going to play bishop to f5, a move that keeps up the pressure. Our position, don't tell me it's not wonderful. It's true that right now we don't have mate or anything like that for the moment, but the opponent's king is in the center of the board, very badly placed, and our pieces seem perfectly positioned, right? Both the queen and the bishop are attacking this point, which together with the knight, again threatens knight to c2, attacking the rook and also this pawn here, which is going crazy. Do you see it? So what do white have to do here? Careful, let your alarms go off because here the opponent has only one move, which seems very aggressive. I'll explain it to you. Queen to a4 is really the only move that offers any kind of counterplay, but don't worry because here we're winning. Let me explain. All right, they check us and take our knight. Don't worry, we pull the knight back, and on top of that, they pin our knight and can keep threatening us. Our opponent here is going to rub their hands together and say, it's impossible for me to lose. I'm going to win a piece. Don't worry, we're completely winning here. Many of you are probably thinking, I'll castle long, right? I'll put the rook here and they can't capture me because this pawn is pinned. Well, that's not a bad idea, but there's a much better one. The idea is to play this move directly because, yes, I know, you're thinking again, you're going crazy and leaving your knight hanging. Well, yes, and in fact, they have to take it because if they don't, we're going to capture this pawn. And after pawn takes pawn, queen takes pawn, we've won a pawn. The king is in terrible shape. The bishop is going to come in with check. The enemy is in a bad spot, or rather the opponent is in a bad spot. Sorry for the expression. And on top of that, we have an extra pawn. So here, there's nothing better than accepting the sacrifice and taking this knight. Oh, my friend, you've dug your own grave. Now, castling long is a fascinating move. Why? We check the king. It can't be blocked with the knight because we'd capture it, nor with the bishop because we'd capture that too. So here there's only one solution. And what is it? The king has to escape via c3. There's no other way, do you see? And now there's a brilliant move here. Let's see if you can find it. I'll just give you 3 seconds. 1, 2, and 3. It's rook to d3, check. They can only capture with the bishop. And now, queen takes bishop would be checkmate thanks to this bishop that can't be moved, or rather doesn't let the king escape, and this would end up being checkmate. So this concept is going to help you win a lot of games with black. Make sure to save this video so you don't lose it, because otherwise you'll be saying, where was that great chess teach video? And you'll never find it again. So save it well, give it a big like if you enjoyed it, and above all, stay tuned because this really is good news. This book is now available, and I'm completely convinced it will help you make real progress in chess. I've written it very well, easy for everyone to read. You're going to love it. And on top of that, it's fun because it has a practical section that you can study for a very long time. You know, right? Available in physical format if you're one of those who likes to receive it at home and have the physical book, or in digital format, which is even more affordable, okay? And you'll also have it available forever. So I'll leave the link in the description and you can choose Spanish or English, physical or digital. I hope you loved this video. Leave a big like. If you want more videos like this, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos, and I'll see you tomorrow, as always, in the next video, friends. Goodbye.